Hello and welcome everybody. Good to see you. Paul Trani here talking about adjustment presets today for my final day for the Photoshop daily creative challenges that we've been having all week. So this is fun for me. I don't know if you're sick of me, but I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm happy to dive into this portion of adjustment presets and kind of talk about also where all this stuff is going. So I think this is going to be pretty helpful. And for those of you who don't know, just below me in the description, you'll find a link to this file. Here's my particular file. Notice that there are two layers in here. There's this one, and then there's this one. So a couple things to play with. Should be a lot of fun, and welcome everyone. So yeah, let's play with this. And again, I like having this like sort of two different subject matters. We have this situation, urban environment, and then we're also dealing with like a portrait, like some skin tones here. So different color palettes, if you will. And let's just kind of jazz them up. Let's start with this one right here. First off, it is looking pretty good, but can we punch it up some? And shall we use all of these crazy right down here? All this crazy stuff. Oh, I got to pick one of these. Maybe levels. What's levels? What does curves mean? Right? So as a new user, what does this mean? I just want to make the photo better, right? So I need an easy button. And where that easy button is right under here in adjustments. Here we go. Adjustment presets. Let's expand this out. Let me show you. Let's put it right over here. Bear with me. Bam. Adjustments. This is what it looks like. First off, I want to point out that everything you just saw over here, so Sam and Mandy and Carol and everyone, like all this stuff is actually right here. So this is like just, I feel like a little easier to get to because I like this list view as well, because this meant nothing to me. I would love to say I knew I knew curves, but I was like, what is the upside down triangle? What is that upside? What does that mean? Oh yeah, vibrance. Everybody knows that. Ugh, help me. Same for all of these. So again, list view, all these individual adjustments. But what do I want to do? I just want to make it better. So right up here at the top, I did that kind of fast, but right up here at the top, adjustment presets, click more. Oh, thank you very much. Portraits, landscape, photo prep. Really, I ignore these words. I just go off of how each one of these looks. And I'll just roll over each one. And it actually applies it, shows what it's going to look like if I apply, say, any one of these adjustment presets. So that's what I'm doing. Just kind of rolling over each one of these. Just doing stuff, rolling. Photo repair. I really want something that's going to, something kind of like this. I like darken. And I really like creative. Creative makes that all the graffiti pop more. So I'll go with creative. Click. What does it do? It adds right over here. It adds the name of it, which is the creative category, color pop. Oh, what makes the color pop? It's going to be vibrance. Oh, there's that upside down like triangle. From there, this is a good way to learn. So I can select vibrance, and that's all this is like cranking up the vibrance and maybe the saturation. So this is a good way to learn, how to use Photoshop and how to make these fun applications. So let's do that once more. I'm going to actually take a look at some more of these. No. Cinematic. Ooh. I like blue mood. And I like cinematic. So let's try cinematic. As I click on cinematic, split tone, this is why this is in a folder, because there could be more than one. Places them right here. We can jump in, play with the, the properties, adjust the brightness. And like we said, the color balance is right in here. So the midtones leaning heavy to cyan. See the shadows. Let's take a look at the highlights. Look at the highlights. The reds are cranked all the way up. So that's really what's doing the trick here. But again, you can kind of jump in, manipulate this like accordingly. Just kind of want to like tone that down. So those are the. Can you mask out the area on these? Yes, you can. So they all have masks. This is a default. Typically, when you select an adjustment layer, it automatically adds the layer mask. But excuse me as I yawn. You're kind of getting into something like maybe a little bit more specific, which is appropriate for this. Because, like, what if I want the greens to pop more, right? I could still use color balance to do that. But chances are it's going to mean using like hue and saturation. And you seem to like know enough to say, hey, you know what? Maybe the one thing I wish that was in here, by the way, is the ability to there we go. We can add some warmth. Like, I would like to know what. So this is how you know what makes it up. So right in here, here's the photo filter. I would like to know out of all of these which one applies hue and saturation. But why would I need to know that? I could just apply hue and saturation sort of right down here, hue and saturation. Or back here, obviously, we have hue and saturation. But that's what I do. I'd click in here, add hue and saturation. I can sort of pick a color or even go with sort of all the reds, for instance. Let's expand this down. Go right in here. Make sure the reds expand a little bit out, a little bit further, and I'll just crank up the reds. So these are all the reds that are being captured there, and I could just adjust this fall off and the range, the color range that's being affected. So I'm cranking this all the way up. We'll just play with this a little bit, sort of tightening the window of what we're amping up. All right, and right in here you can start to see it's like, okay, it's grabbing sort of more of the building. And really, I just want to sort of pop some of the reds on the in the graffiti. Okay, so that's what I've done. Selected hue and saturation right over here, tightened up this window of color I'm like oversaturating, and just seeing what it does. So that's exactly what's happening here. I can tweak this accordingly. And conversely, what I can do is I could actually sample, say, the yellow there. Okay. Notice how it shifts it accordingly, and I can adjust from there. But this is really all about adjustment layers. So we'll kind of dip back in there. We're having this situation, to your point, because I want to make sure I'm answering questions. There's a mask that comes with it. It's right down here. In fact, let's just like kind of remove these for simplicity's sake. There's a mask that comes with it. We can hit B for brush, crank up the flow. I mean, there's a number of ways we could do this, but I'm just kind of painting out and adding black to this mask to get rid of all of this red that's right down here on the street here. So that's all I'm doing. Even right up here, maybe I don't want this to be this red brick. I can eliminate it there. Hit X to flip it back, flip those colors. And now we've amped up the colors for the sort of the oranges on the sides. Zaba, zaba, right? So, oh, Reverb Mike, this is why I like having you here. I saw red. Nobody gets that lyric, except for me and you, probably. I don't know. But again, that's what these adjustment presets are made of, all of this stuff. So this is like the recipe for making cool stuff. I want to crank this up some more, by the way. I could add another hue and saturation. The reason I'm adding another hue and saturation is, let's click to the sort of cyans or cayennes. Do you call it cayenne? I hope you don't. I've done it before. Crank this up. So these are my cayenne peppers. No, my cyan colors, which is going to be all those blues. So let's turn that off. See how it's like popping those colors. Same process, right? I'm just going to click right here, crank it up, adjust the window if I want, paint accordingly. So this is where I have a different layer mask, and let's just paint that out right up there. This is even a little distracting, this circle. So I would probably maybe remove that as well. But here I've just popped all of those cool tones now. So this is hue and saturation. This is my cool tones. And now here's my sort of warm tones. Right? So where we started, Shaba, Shaba. And we can go from there. Okay? Alrighty, we got this. I would also do the opposite of this. You ready for this? We're gonna do this one more time because I love using adjustment layers. We can go into hue and saturation. When this time we're gonna do the reverse. So then we're gonna do a desaturate. So let me just change this, desaturate. And this is where we really want to sort of take down the color for the street and the trees and stuff like that. So that's all I'm doing right now. Let's take that down. Let's take that down all the way. Let's actually invert this. Let's invert this mask. B for brush. Paint with white. So we're actually removing color down here. Removing some of that color. Let's give it a soft round. And now we have sort of this black and white. I know it's like, it's a lot. It's a lot. Big time contrast. Anyway. There we go. We're just doing stuff together. Let's eliminate that. Maybe let's flip this. Let's like have maybe that building there. No, that's distracting. Let's do something like that. So the goal would be to highlight the artwork. There we go. Done. So this is my desaturate. Knocking everything down, and since this is obviously an adjustment layer, I can kind of tweak that accordingly. But I think that looks good, so we're going to save that. Yes. All right. So let's go to this one. So second subject. I think this looks awesome. Second subject, this situation, sort of skin tones, sort of a portrait. We'll use adjustment presets. Go in here. These portraits will really kind of work on the warm tones. I feel like it does a lot, but it doesn't do anything too drastic. But right in here, it's like, oh, I like this. Love the warmth. It's so nice. Let's actually put these in a folder so they're not distracting. But look at this. What did we do? We just add a little warming filter. Let me ask you guys. So Sam and Mike and everyone, like, maybe too much desaturated. I'm reading that comment. But like, how do you... Like, do you use the photo filter? I think photo filters are so easy to work with. That's what makes them nice, right? Warming filter, piece of cake, right? How do we make cool tones? We can go to a cooling filter. You get the idea. How do we make her skin pop while keeping the maybe the wood maybe more desaturated? Well, it's a great question. I'm glad you asked. Means isolating these two. Again, a number of things we do with this. Let's do a Command J to jump that layer. Let's do a remove background. Bingo, remove the background. She's now isolated. So this is our sort of subject matter. And then we have our background. Bingo. How do we just make her warm? Ah, she's already warm, has a glowing personality. Option. Am I losing my mind? Ooh, I'm glad this came up. I'm just realizing I tried to make this folder a clipping mask. That's not going to work. These folders can't be clipping masks. Let's take it out of there. Remember, we just learned how to use this photo filter thanks to the adjustment presets. So here's my photo filter. I'm learning how it works. Now I've isolated her. Now I need to option and then click, and it will isolate and just focus on making her sort of warmer. So let's crank this up just so you can see the difference. There she is, yellow. Now she's very sickly, but now she's warmer. What does this mean? Well, it means I can make the background cooler. So let's go back into adjustment presets and watch this. Even as I roll over this, let's go to something maybe even black and white. But see what it's doing there? Giving me a preview of what that looks like. And I'm kind of into the black and white. I didn't think I would be. Did you get it? I didn't think I would be. Wood, W-O-O-D. So we're playing with a wood. Invert. Just playing around. It's not bad. Kind of gives it a more rustic look. Let's try it. Dark fade. Bam! Dark fade. Only applying to the background. And notice how she stands out even more in this case. All right. But this is nice. It just gives me a chance to experiment. Let's turn that off. Let's go to a cooling. So we'll do Moody Blues. Moody Blues doesn't look so good. It's the problem is the it's too bright and my subject matter gets darker. So since I've added this adjustment preset, maybe I just want to get rid of the curves. So that's what I do in this case. Get rid of the curves. And now we have that wood that's just a cooler tone. And she's a little bit warmer. So here's, yes, purple hair is popping. Good eye, Sean. Love it. So check this out. So here's my version. What we are working on, just to be honest with you, is, you know, as I've made these edits, the goal is to be able to save your own presets. So that's what we're working on. Like, we want to have adjustment presets. We want to have Paul's adjustment presets. You can see, just like we have sort of my own gradients, why can't I have my own adjustment layers? So my own adjustment presets. So that's what we're working on. I also want to add that, you know, there's also things like right down here, color lookup. If we're being honest, rather than dealing with this sort of interface, I would love to see this. It's like, oh, now I'm spoiled. I'm spoiled with this lovely layout and how fast and easy things can change thanks to the new adjustment presets panel. I now want to see that everywhere. So if you know somebody who works for Adobe, and if you could put me in touch with them, that'd be great. So, because look at the difference between these two. So write in your feature request, whatever, like, let us know. But essentially, like, wouldn't it be nice if all these kind of gave me a little thumbnail? I don't know how easy or hard that is. I'm just somebody using the tool, but I'd love to be able to get a preview of what these look like just by rolling over them like I can with adjustment presets. Luckily, I know which ones that I like a lot. I do two-step look. Boy, does that look ridiculous. So what not to do? Let's go to Fujifilm camera. Kodak. You get the idea. Cool. Oh, that's a good question. No, adjustment presets are in the, they should be in the I'm working in the beta, but they should be in the latest version of Photoshop. So yeah, they're in the latest version. So, and again, what I want to see is like, as I add or change things or create my own adjustment presets, I want to be able to save them right in here. So going back, we can see what this looks like. Let's get rid of that one because obviously they did a horrible job. Let's tweak this some more just so you guys don't think I'm horrible designer, but I'm just pushing back that background so she pops a little bit more. Can you not take it over to Lightroom and make a preset there? Yeah, you can. Yeah, so it's already in. Good point. Excuse me. It's already in Lightroom. Let's have it in here now. Come on now. Let's do it. So yeah, that is the goal. So let's take a look at that. That's our Lightroom presets. By the way, a lot of this can be done sort of like right down here. I talked about the contextual menu as well. We can see that. Also, what did I use earlier? Again, all these features that we've just given to you this week. How do we even make money as a company? Like, yes, through subscriptions, but like we're constantly adding to these tools and making it easier. Because how easy is it with this contextual bar? To be honest with you, I didn't like it. I was like, I don't need this. This was my complaint about this. I was like, no, we have the properties panel. They've got this bar up here, blah, 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 blah. But it wasn't in context. So I really appreciate this contextual bar, menu bar. I appreciate this also for if you're starting out in Photoshop, the ability to add these adjustment layers. And of course, we talked about generative fill and the gradients as well. So anyways, just kind of rolling over each one of these. Let's get into even cinematic. Oh, how nice is that? Let's add a little cinematic to it. And it's nice we just get to play around. Hello. Oh yeah, don't ever soft sepia. I'm sorry. Don't to be honest with you, I don't know if we could be friends if you're using this sepia tone on photos. You better have a darn good reason. You better be working for a old Western dress-up photo shoot type spot to do a sepia tone. But that's just me. I digress. You're still my friends. Can you get rid of the bar? Yes, you can. Right down here. Check it out. Pin bar position, hide bar. The big question I need to ask myself, which I haven't looked into yet, is I want to make this a shortcut key. But to answer your question, you can pin the bar position, so you could pin it somewhere so it always stays somewhere if it's distracting. Or you could hide it altogether. So that's the question. You should be able to actually right in here, because what is it? The contextual taskbar. Add that as a shortcut key, which I'd love to do, which is It's a great idea. By the way, speaking of this contextual taskbar, it's based on what's selected, but also right down here. If I click there, it's going to jump to the properties. So anyways, let's get rid of this because you guys are all quietly judging me, as you should, or not so quietly. Let's try to make something good within a couple minutes, and should be pretty easy to do. As I play with this. Oh, that's all. That's all I'm doing. Desaturating the background. There's our version. Now we have sort of the portrait, and then we have our amped up graffiti situation going on here. So yes. And again, shortcut keys. Keyboard shortcuts for our application menu up at the top, down to window. The new contextual taskbar. I'll mash all these. There we go. Nope. There we go. Control, Option, Command, D. Now let's try that. Now that I have that set up, let's go in here. Let's turn it off. Let's actually go. Wait for it. Oh, I'm running out of time, per usual. There it is. Now I just made a shortcut for this. Oop. You know, hiding it and showing it and everything looks good. So there you go. You guys get the idea. I personally like the graffiti one better, and everything looks good. And let's not forget about all the challenges we did this week. I had a lot of fun with the gradient tool, by the way. Was really happy with this. Again, shortcut key, hide that. That one looks awesome. And then our other examples for like a generative fill that we did earlier this week with, you know, sort of our spacecrafts, which was fun to work on as well. And then the contextual taskbar, which is just right here we used in this situation. So that's it for all of the challenges. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I've appreciated hanging out with you and creating cool stuff. So hopefully you guys had fun. Stay in touch, guys. Yeah, big things coming up per usual. Things are moving fast and it's crazy. So stick around. We've got more going on, some Illustrator challenges. And thank you so much for joining me. You guys are too kind. Appreciate you. We'll see you later. Bye.